From Studio A in sunny Florida, welcome to Beauty and the Beach Radio, where it's all about who's beautifying Vero Beach. Today's show is brought to you by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. And here's your host and glamour girl, makeup artist, Cindy Goetz.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. We hope you had a great week. I know I did. It is fall in Florida, which means it's 89 degrees instead of 90. But we're having so much fun getting into the spirit. And wow, speaking of getting into the spirit, we have a wonderful, wonderful holiday coming up that I cherish and love. And hopefully every American does. And we're talking about Veterans Day. And we have two very handsome men in uniform in the studio today. So can't wait for you to chat with them. So, you know, I always like to kind of look at the background of different events and situations. And you know, Veterans Day obviously is a celebration of everyone that has, you know, served America. But it suspension to be known as Armistice Day. Now, that was a temporary suspension of hostilities by agreement of the warring parties. Now, that became a holiday in the U.S. Every November 11th, okay, honoring military veterans who have served in the U.S. Armed Services. So in 1954, Armistice Day was renamed to Veterans Day. So Veterans Day was originally set as a holiday to honor the end of World War I. And in 1919, you guys, President Woodrow Wilson honored the first ceremony with these following words. Okay, you ready? And I just thought this was I just love this. It's so USA. I love it. To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations. Oh my gosh. You guys, we need to be reading that daily. I mean, I love America, but let's really get back to that appreciation and love and value of our country. So speaking of 1919, you guys, okay, I'm going to segue into our first guest. So in 1919, let me see, from 1919 to December 1921, okay, Vero Beach's very first mayor, okay, was the grandfather of our guest today, Tony Young. That was Anthony William Young. Okay, so he was the first mayor of Vero Beach from June 12, 1919 to December 14, 1921, and considered, guys, he's considered to be the founder of Indian River County. So fast forward, this is such fun facts. Fast forward, okay, 2019, his grandson, Tony Young, became mayor of Vero Beach. Where's my favorite button? She's got it right. Yes! Yes! I mean, how cool is that, you guys?
Very cool.
Very cool. So please welcome back, I believe the second time on the show to help us celebrate Veterans Day, we have Tony Young.
Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! And I should say, so to give you a proper introduction, you retired from the Army as a colonel. You served in the U.S. Army for 30 years and toured in Iraq, Bosnia, and the Gulf War.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes. You know, I'm very, very fortunate because growing up here, I'm a beach kid, okay? And to go into the Army and find something that you love, because I was able to serve with the medical service department, okay? So I flew the medical evacuation helicopters, and basically I did tactical combat medicine, which is kind of like being a postman. Nobody wants to send you away. They want to see you.
There you go. That was a good choice. That was a good choice. So glad, Tony, that you're here with us. And I also want to bring along with you here. We have another wonderful gentleman. He's been on many times. Sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps, John Michael Matthews. Hey, John.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
So, John, I had interviewed you a while back about your service, and I pulled it up because I just wanted to refresh, and I wanted to share just a tiny little bit of that interview that you and I did about your service. Okay. And one of the questions that I asked you, I said, where did you travel and on what assignments? And here was your answer. This was like an essay form. You wrote, so here was John's answer. After 13 weeks of boot camp in Paris Island, I went to advanced infantry training at Camp Lejeune, specializing in weapons. Then I was sent to Jungle Warfare School in San Diego. After training, I was immediately sent into Vietnam to join a rifle company. After my first 12-month tour was over, I came home for a month and then returned to Vietnam for another tour as a member of the Armed Forces Police Unit in South Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's still true.
And I wanted to bring that up because people see you as John Michael Matthews Fine Jewelry, which we love. Beautiful shop right here in Vero Beach on Beachland Boulevard. But a lot of people, if you agree, Tony, and probably the same for you, they don't know your background. They don't know, what you did to serve our country.
Well, we were just kids, really.
You were just kids.
I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18, and by the time I was 19, I was a corporal. By the time I was 20, I was a sergeant. Hard to imagine, 20-year-old sergeant in the Marine Corps with 2 combat tours. And I didn't get shot, so I had to stay the whole time.
Wow.
Truly, he's a Renaissance man. If you think about a fine jewelry and his dojo as well downtown.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right.
Yeah, we have a karate shop. I should have named it that, the Karate Shop.
Oh, John, I don't know what to... You also have a great sense of humor that most people don't know. So, okay, so let's talk about Veterans Day because it is such a big deal. It's such a wonderful thing. Both of you past presidents of the Veterans Council. First of all, what a wonderful, beautiful ceremony that you present to our community every year on Veterans Day on November 11th. Tell us about this year and what to expect and what's going to happen.
Well, it's traditionally is the 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month, as you were saying before. Although we have it on Memorial Island at 9 o'clock because the Sebastian has theirs at 11, and that gives people time to go from one to the other. So it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning on the 11th, and we have a keynote speaker, which will be our own Colonel Tony Young will be the keynote speaker, mainly because of the World War II monument and tribute that we're working on, but. General Guthrie is the reviewing officer, and Major Terry Treat will be the commander of the troops. We'll have the color guards there, and the high school band, which is really Americana, having the high school band playing the music, and the families coming on the island and setting up, and then all the sights and sounds and symbols that are traditional, the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll place a wreath at the markers where the cenotaphs are, where we honor those that died in the service of our country. And of course, the keynote speaker is the main thing. But we also have the tradition of the rifle volley, or some people call it a 21 gun salute, but it's actually 7 rifles firing 3 times is kind of 21. And then the taps would be played also. Some people wonder why it's 21 gun. I don't know if it's true or not, but if you add up the 1776 adds up to 21. I don't know if that's just...
Wow, I haven't heard that one. That's pretty good.
Either.
But anyway, so it's, Veterans Day is a celebration where Memorial Day, of course, is a solemn ceremony, which we would have in May. And the island is a perfect place for this, where, how lucky are we that Alex McWilliam had the foresight to set this aside for us. Imagine trying to do car washes or raising money to buy that island to have it would be $5 million condos out there. So it's a beautiful spot to visit. You can see the river and dolphins playing in the water, and then veterans going out to honor those that they served with, and there probably will be 700 or 800, as many. We've had as many as 1,500, and we know that because of the number of programs that we print and give out, and when they're gone, that's a pretty good indication of how many people are out there. So, and if you're going, bring a chair, because we don't have 1,000 chairs for those that are going. So if they bring a lawn chair, would be helpful.
And I know Cindy and I went to a memorial. She goes every year, and I got to experience it the first time for Memorial Day. You had people serving or passing, I think maybe Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts serving water. Will that be a situation,
Yeah,
or should you take your own water?
No, the Scouts will be passing out the programs and water.
Great.
And the Rot Interior Decorator, I forgot his actual title, but he donates that. I should know his name. He donates, what is it? It's Jim Rott Home Improvements donates that, and he shows up with a truck full of water, and that's very kind of him, and he enjoys doing that. And then the Scouts pass out the water as well as the programs.
So you gentlemen are here in uniform, and I feel like I want kind of our audience to understand. And Tony, you were chatting before the show and just kind of describing what certain things meant on your uniforms. Now, today you have on your Veterans Council uniforms, but just take us through. Tony, let's start with you with your uniform. You've got ribbons, you've got badges, because when it comes to this celebration, I imagine there's going to be a lot of uniforms there. And I personally would like to know what I'm seeing, and it's just helps us to respect you more. So tell us.
Well, I'll just share with you really quickly. Even I, after 30 years, don't understand the Navy uniform, because the Navy uniform has its own insignia as well. But, if you think about it, the ribbons that a service member has on their uniform speaks to their length of service, okay? And it speaks to what units they belong to. If they were assigned to certain units that excelled in combat, that demonstrates that. If you look on John's uniform, he has a badge, and the badge there tells that he was an airborne service member. Okay, on other uniforms, you'll have a set of wings if they're an aviator. You'll have, in the Army, they have another badge that looks like a helicopter that tells you that you've gone through that training as well. And then, of course, if you look on their sleeves, they'll have the stripes for the sergeants. And the most infamous sergeant, clearly, is the gunny sergeant, okay? And the gunny sergeant, it brings terror into the eyes of young lieutenants, okay? And I'll share, my daughter lives in Annapolis, and we have the Naval Academy there, and they have a ceremony every spring where they climb this pole to recognize their commissioning. But if a gunny sergeant walks by, they all stand back in awe, because they don't want to piss them off. Excuse the French.
I love it.
Okay, but, again, just come up to the service members and say, I'm not familiar. Can you help me? And they'll be glad to do it. It's one way to start a conversation to express your appreciation for what they've done.
Great.
I wear this bracelet that to honor Gunnery Sergeant Charles Rush, that was my company gunnery sergeant, that was killed in April of 1969, and he was a gunnery sergeant. And at that time, we had 21 radio operators killed or wounded in this one operation. So I got stuck with the radio, which meant I followed the gunny and the captain through the bush and everywhere. And so I still remember our company gunny. Back to badges or decorations. Colonel Young is a colonel, which is just one rank below general. That's, I was just a Marine sergeant and only got that as I was leaving the Marine Corps. And then Tony has Bronze Star and Legion of Merit, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
These are very high decorations.
But what John is not sharing with you, if you look on his chest, he has a V on one of his ribbons, and that is called a device for valor, which means that he exhibited in time of imperil bravery. Okay, and that is one distinguished recognition that any Marine or sailor or even soldier or whatever would appreciate.
May I ask, John, because I know you touched on it when the gunnery you had to take over. Was that the moment because you had to take over as radio? Because
the gunnery sergeant didn't handle the radio. The radio actually was the captain's radio. You carry it for the captain. I was at that time a corporal, but we were on Operation Meade River, which was a big operation. I don't know if it's appropriate now to talk about how many thousands of the enemy killed and 125 Marines killed in 20 days. And so I had the radio, but I remember following the Gunnery Sergeant Charles Rush, and he was a guy from Tennessee, and he carried a shotgun, which was kind of unusual in combat. And he always talked about if they get this close, there'll be plenty of rifles laying around. But following him around, and then at night when we would dig in for the night, I'd have to dig the fighting hole for the gunny and the fighting hole for the captain and my own position for the radio. But the gunnery sergeant is the highest enlisted rank that goes into the field in a company of Marines. There's a captain and a gunnery sergeant, and then those that stay back would be the XO, a first lieutenant, and a first sergeant would stay back in the rear with the equipment. So, and basically what we were doing at that time was platoon patrol bases. So we took 25 or 30 Marines, depending on how many got shot that week, how many were left, and we would just wander through the field or through the bush until we found a spot that we could kind of circle up and dig in. So that if we had to defend our position, we could, and then we would send out night patrols and night ambushes to try and catch the enemy coming across the lines.
This is what protects our liberties.
Right. I think it's important that people understand that. Right. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well,
it's tough.
that is what is the basis for the veterans' band of brothers and understanding. And it really doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. Okay, if you're out in, the common term would be Indian country. Okay, you're dependent upon the person next to you for your very survival. And if it's on an aircraft, you're dependent upon that NCO to maintain that aircraft. If you're in a medevac aircraft in Vietnam, they had a gunner aboard. So it's a team sport, and it's something that requires you to have your head on a swivel and be anticipating what can go wrong, because that makes the difference. So
Absolutely. We are so honored to have you gentlemen, outstanding, citizens here in Vero Beach. It really is an honor to have both of you here, John and Tony. It's incredible. And I'm so happy that you get to live in paradise after serving our country. And, you've seen some tough times. But we definitely want to celebrate you guys on November 11th. And this is out at Memorial Island right here in Vero Beach. If you've not been, you've got to go. It's amazing. John, we're going to talk about right after break the Marine Corps Ball and the bridge that's going to be happening over there at the Memorial Island. But real fast, let's talk about World War II. It's not gotten a lot of love on the island. World War I, yes. World War II is coming. So tell us what's coming up for tributes to World War II.
Well, Tony is actually leading that the charge to create this, but it's surprising that we don't have a tribute to World War II, the greatest generation that basically saved the world. And we need a stage, so these have kind of come together with Tony's vision of putting this together as a tribute to World War II veterans and a stage to talk
It's
from.
a natural outgrowth because John's dad was in World War II. Okay, my dad was a auxiliary coastie right off the air of Florida. And so, we want to make sure that we provide a new stage, which is used for the large ceremonies that'll be permanent, but we're taking that opportunity to provide a recognition for all of the men of the greatest generation and their story. The more you learn of it, the more you want to learn more, because we have 42 veterans on the island, all services that gave their lives in Vietnam, but in World War II.
Wow.
And that's what we want to acknowledge. It's great.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And I think, John, the last time you and I talked, you gave me a little sneak peek of what's to come with the wall and a lot of symbolism in that wall. And I'm thrilled. I can't wait. So when do you plan on that kind of kicking off with the...
Well, we have been working on it for a good length of time. And I'll share with the folks today that probably today or maybe tomorrow, we will have the, it's called an order, development order from the city of Vero Beach, which says they approve the design and they approve the permits that will allow us to build it. So, we're moving forward, and we're very we're pleased because on Memorial Day we will have 4 World War II veterans on the stage with us, and to have them there, we want them still around when we do this dedication.
Love it.
That would be good.
What a wonderful opportunity.
It may take a year or so to have it finally built and dedicated, and of course there's money involved if anyone wants to donate towards that.
Absolutely. We're going to go to station break. We're talking about Veterans Day celebration over on Memorial Island, Friday, November 11th at 9 a.m. And keynote speaker is going to be Tony right here, our guest, Tony Young. So you guys, hopefully we'll see you there, and let's celebrate these gentlemen. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Very good.
Revive Vero Beach, located next to Anytime Fitness on Oslo Road and 27th Avenue, has everything you need to look and feel your best, including hormone replacement therapy, stem cell therapy, sexual wellness, weight loss, laser aesthetics, hair, tattoo, and skin spot removal, Botox and fillers, cryotherapy, comprehensive blood work, and everybody's favorite ozone and IV therapy. Refresh, renew, and revitalize yourself at Revive today. Call 772-492-6607. A member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Sunshine Furniture brightens up your day.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal, Four Seasons, and Capri. We also have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington with styles designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. We're having a fall sale with lots of great markdowns, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $1295 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and closeout store directly across the street and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day.
For 67 years, Sturgis Lumber and Hardware has been here for the people of Vero Beach. Through ups, downs, even hurricanes, Sturgis stands tall, 4 generations strong. Open weekday mornings at 7. Don't go west. Stick with the best. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware.
You're busy. You're an on-the-go person with a hectic schedule. So let Affordable Water deliver salt and water to your door, so maybe you can relax for a minute.
For your H2O, call the Pure Water Pros. Affordable water.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. We want to thank Dale Sorensen Real Estate for making sure that we are able to get everyone that is in Vero Beach beautifying our beautiful area. So if you want to buy or sell a home, definitely call them. They can help you, 772-231-4712 or SorensenRealEstate.com. And we also want to shout out to Varietals and More. They always take care of beverages for our guests. And today, it's from Washington. It's called Born of Fire, and it has an eagle on it. And everyone knows the eagle is the symbol of United States of America. So this is a dedication to the veterans, John. So, yep, Born of Fire. It's a beautiful cab. You guys go get it and celebrate Veterans Day with us, which is coming up, you guys. It is Friday, November 11th, 2022. We have a beautiful ceremony that John Michael Matthews is a part of, and that starts at 9 a.m. on the island. Bring a chair. To wrap it up, we only have about a minute, John, and so much more to talk about. But what is most exciting moving forward for the Veterans Council and for veterans? Walk me through some things that you're excited about or looking forward to.
Well, of course, the ceremonies are important. Memorial Day and Veterans Day are the two big ones, but we also transport disabled veterans to the VA hospital and help veterans that may need, the air conditioner's broken, or they need a ramp for the wheelchair, or they need a wheelchair. The Veterans Council does a lot for veterans in the community, and some of those veterans you don't see because they're housebound or don't.
Sure.
So it's just a wonderful organization, and it's grown so much, and it's very involved besides with the ceremonies and things. This time of the year with the Marine Corps birthday, with Veterans Day, with all of the Navy leagues having their meeting and honoring the veterans. The Marine Corps birthday is the highest day of every Marine's social calendar. And the rule is when there's one or more Marines, then there's a party on the Marine Corps birthday.
I love it.
We had a Marine Corps birthday ball at the Da Nang Hotel once in 1969. But Veterans Day is the big one, and we're looking forward to seeing people out on the island.
Well, John, thank you for everything you do for the Council for Vero Beach, for beautifying Vero Beach. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you and Tony Veterans Day, Friday, November 11th at Memorial Island. We'll see you there.
Well, thanks for letting us talk about it.
Absolutely.